Hi everyone, welcome to another Nyxt Hacker Short. Today, by popular request, we're going to be talking about key bindings and how to set your own custom configuration for how keys are. So I'm going to show you a rather straightforward way. I don't want to get into the details. I just want to show you in practice how to simply do this sort of operationally. So as with many things in Nyxt, one of the best places to start is unsurprisingly the manual. The manual is dynamic and it adapts to whatever configuration you have. So let's go ahead and pop open the manual, which appears on the start page. And we're interested in key binding configuration. So let's press our jump to heading command, which is in my case control period. And then we're going to type in key binding. And this is precisely what we need. The manual is pretty exhaustive. It explains a lot of things. We don't need to go into detail. We're going to scroll down a little bit and we're going to take the whole example here and we're just going to copy it and modify it for our needs. So let's go ahead and copy this. And now it's in our clipboard as soon as we did that. And then we're going to go ahead and edit our config file. So edit file. I'm just going to do this in Nyxt, but you could do it literally in any editor, whatever you wanted. Config. Nyxt, and this is the location where the config file lives on Linux. It's in your XDG home, which is in basically home / your username / .config. It can also be set to different values depending on your system, but this is where it typically is. So we're going to open up the config.lisp, and you're going to see that I have a very basic configuration for this tutorial, and I'm going to go ahead and paste in what we just copied from the manual with Control Y. Control Y for my setup because I'm using Emacs mode. Doesn't matter, just a little detail. And there's one other thing we have to do here. The manual has a slight error, which is going to be revised actually in the new version. Instead of saying just key scheme, the package is actually Nyxt / key scheme. So this is actually a rendering error in the manual, and the manual is technically correct. Needs to be fixed here. So if we save this and we restart Nyxt, now Control F and Control B are going to be bound to these commands, and this is really what we're interested in right here. So this is where we set sort of all of our shortcuts in practice for this simplified example. So it's a list, it's the binding, and then the command. And then you just repeat that over and over again. Cool. So let's go ahead and save this and restart Nyxt, and you'll see that Control F and Control B are going to be bound to these commands. And then we're going to talk about how to bind them to any arbitrary command and how we can know how to type them in. So we're going to go ahead and save this. We're going to overwrite the file. Okay. Cool. Close that. Close that. And we're going to restart Nyxt. Okay. Cool. So now you see that we have a new mode here at the bottom, which is my mode, and it's the suffix mode has been stripped, but it's there. So now if we do Control forward or Control back with Control F and Control B, you can see in the bottom it says no backward history. It's trying to do that. Okay. Now let's talk about binding a new command and how we could figure out how to bind any arbitrary command. So as you know, when you press Control space, you can bring up any arbitrary command. And in this case, there's one that I think is pretty interesting that's unbound by default. And this command is called repeat times. And what it does is it repeats any function any number of times. So let me bring up a long document so you can see a very practical example. I'm going to say repeat times, okay, and then Nyxt is going to ask me, okay, how many times you want to repeat? I'll say something like, I don't know, 5, doesn't matter. And then it's going to ask me, what do you want to repeat 5 times? And I'm going to say scroll down. And now it should scroll the page down 5 times. So, 3, 4, 5. So I think that's a really cool function, and I would like to bind that to a hotkey. But what do I put in that sort of that config file that we just made to do that. To find out what you need to put, you can say describe command, and then you describe the command that you want. And at the top, the full sort of symbol, or the full piece of text that you want to copy is here at the top. It's sort of the title. So it tells you the package here, Nyxt mode repeat, and the function repeat time. So let's go ahead and copy this. And let's go ahead then and open up our config file again. You can open this in whatever editor you want. It doesn't have to be Nyxt. I'm just doing this for convenience. Okay, so now actually we can keep this binding. Let's add another binding. So let's go ahead and type in here CE, and then quote symbol or apostrophe in normal terms, and then Control Y to paste what I had just copied. And now whenever we press Control E, we should get prompted to run the command repeat times. Let's save this. Yep, overwrite. Let's destroy that, and then restart Nyxt. Alrighty. Now, if I press Control E, it should invoke repeat times. Yay! And then scroll down. Cool. So, not the most simple thing, but the facilities are actually rather quite complex, and the things you can do are incredibly powerful. I didn't want to touch too much on all of that, and hopefully in the future there will be a way to set shortcuts through a simplified GUI interface. But for now, here's your sort of really basic how-to. As with a lot of things in Nyxt, it's usually a good idea to jump into the manual and look at some of the examples provided, copy them, tweak them a little bit, and then just keep restarting Nyxt and see if you can get your config to work nicely. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out on our forums or any of our other channels, or even comment here in the YouTube section below. So thanks so much for your time, and good luck to you all. Bye-bye.